going on, JJ? How are you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Not too bad. It's a good way to kind of wrap up my Friday, my interviews. Chat with you about this really fun series that thankfully I've discovered now, King Star King. Tell us a little bit about the special.
Well, 2.5 years ago, Adult Swim hit me up, and the phone call started off with an apology. They're like, "We're sorry, we canceled King Star King." I was like, "All right," and they said, "We want to bring it back." And I said, "Okay, what the fuck? This is crazy." And I said, "So what capacity? Do you want a series? Do you want a feature? Do you want a special?" And they said, "We would love a special." So I said, "Great." So that's kind of how all started.
It's interesting because I watched the special first, just kind of to get that context, and then I went back to adultswim.com where currently you can actually watch the series. And it gave it so much more context, and it made it that much more fun to realize, the idea and the theme of the middle-aged man character. Where did that idea come from to do that, and then to also make Amazon your villain?
Well, I mean, first of all, just like when you get presented a new project, I go right to drawing. That's the first thing I do is I start drawing the characters. I worked on Shrek, so all of a sudden I had to draw Shrek all the time. And you put a little of yourself into these characters. So when I did the season one about almost 10 years ago, I was fucking out of my mind. I was in my late 20s, early 30s. I was partying hard. I was out all night. And I put myself into the character. Now I'm a married man. I have a family, and it's just like, life has slowed down for me a lot. I've gained a lot of weight since then too. I've lost some hair, and I have more of a routine of going into my job every day. So I put that into the character, and that's what you get with King Star King. It's just like, a personal approach with a show.
It's insane to think about it because the series they go on all these insane adventures and everything, and then to come back and then have him, after all that mess, when he actually gets his family and then but makes it back to the Waffle House, for characters like like Hank Waffles and stuff, like let's get this done, and then he's like, I can't really do that anymore, or having to second guess. Man, I was like, man, that's relatable a little bit.
Yeah, totally. I mean, as you get older, your values start to kick in. Hanging with the homies is always good, but at the same time, hanging with your family is very important. So yeah, you get your values straight a little bit, and that's, again, it's just like when you make a project, any project, and if you truly have passion and make it personal, it's a lot easier to work on it because you're working very late nights. And being in my office at 9:30 at night when I wish I was at home, it's got to take something that you're passionate about.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I want to go back a little. How did this project come about for you? Because it's really, really unique in the sense that some of the animations are very, very over the top, but in the end, it's really tight storytelling.
Oh, thanks. Well, I mean, if we go way back to the original King Star King, I had worked at DreamWorks for 5 years, and working on Shrek 3, Shrek 4, Monsters vs. Aliens, Trolls, Peabody and Sherman. And like by the end of my career there, I was very depressed. I didn't like working on these type of movies, mainly because like surrounding it is just like a hunger for money. Like money is what powers a lot of those movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, fuck animation. And then I was like, I'm going to become a fine artist. So for a year, I tried to become a fine artist, right? Which is a very difficult career as well to do. In that time, I bumped into Craig McCracken's assistant. Craig McCracken's the creator of Powerpuff Girls, and she said, "Hey, you should pitch to Craig. He's an executive right now at Cartoon Network." So I pitched him a TV show, and he gave me my first development deal. And from that, it snowballed into me meeting Adult Swim and then giving me my first TV show, King Star King. So that's how it originally all started.
Nice. And I mean, I don't typically, my area doesn't have too many Waffle Houses, but lately it seems like Waffle Houses seem to be the spot as far as altercations, fights, things going on.
No.
Is this something that you knew that was going on, or is this something that was going on already in your local Waffle Houses?
No, I mean, when I was making the show, I was more interested in the cantina in Star Wars, right?
Oh.
And I was like, oh, cool, look at all these awesome characters in one place. And we had already designed Hank Waffles. So I was like, well, what if he owned a fast food place and we call it Waffle Zone? You know, I have never been to a Waffle House. I am dying to go. I mean, there's Anthony Bourdain. Do you know that?
Yeah.
He has one episode where he goes to the Waffle House and they play this like epic opera classical music, you know, entering the Waffle House, and it's just like I cannot wait to try their food. But yeah, I've seen all the memes that come from Waffle House, all the fights that go down at 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, it's crazy shit.
Yeah, so then when I watched this, I was like, is there more Waffle Houses that I don't know about? Or is this just maybe something that, you know, he was like, oh, Waffle House are probably gonna be a problem in 2023.
I had no idea. The history of Waffle House is awesome though. The History Channel actually did the history of Waffle House, so check that out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they have a lot of the food, kind of the history of food things, which as a foodie, as a person who loves to eat, of course.
Yeah.
And you know, you talk about Hank Waffles. He's my favorite character on there.
Oh,
He's a lot of fun. Where did his concept come from?
Well, I mean, it's just like you know, when you're creating a show, it's always good to have like two characters opposite, oil and water. You know, so you got King Starking who's like super positive, and then you got Hank Waffles who's like super pessimistic and only wants to hang out. You know, he's kind of greedy and only wants like to be at the Waffle Zone. So it just works really good that the tension between the two are dynamic, and it kind of writes itself, you know, where King Starking always wants to go out and party, like not party, but just like go on adventures, where Hank Waffles like, fuck you, I don't want to go, and King Starking drags him along.
There's this great episode in your first season where he's really simping over someone and decides that and this person is super attracted to the fact that he's a coward. I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. That's like I forgot the title of that episode actually. Fuck.
With the special coming out on Adult Swim on Monday, what are the chances that we get more of this crew?
Yeah, so you know, when they called me up, they're like, we want this to be a special. So I handed in the first animatic, which is like the first visual pass of the cartoon to Adult Swim. It's just in drawing, it's just like, you know, storyboard form, you know. And they got back to me right away after they looked at the animatic and they said, hey, we love this. And I was like, oh, cool. They're like, can we change this special into a pilot and consider it for series again? And I was like, sure. I'm like, what do you need me to do? And they're like, we need you to change the ending. So I was like, okay, that's going to take time though, because once you change the ending, it changes the whole story. You know, they're like, okay, cool. So it took 2 months to make all those changes. So if you look at this thing, right, it looks like it's a Christmas special, which it was supposed to be.
Okay.
So now, but we got pushed out because of all the changes that we had to make, right? So now it's a Valentine/Christmas special. So yeah, it depends how it's received, you know, and hopefully Michael Lean, the guy who runs Adult Swim right now, sees that it's received well, and we get more, because I have like high hopes of King Starking fighting Joe Rogan. I really want that to happen.
Oh, that'd be great. And any other heavyweights you have in mind? Because we did Jeff Bezos, and now you just mentioned Joe Rogan. Anyone else?
I want him to fight the Paul brothers, Logan Paul and his brother.
Oh man, you know, with that kind of premise, you're gonna have people wanting to watch stuff like that because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
especially the way you did it in the special with Amazon and the branding and things like that. And
I couldn't believe that it actually got through S&P, Standards and Practices.
Oh.
Like, I didn't think they were going to allow it. They're like, no, you can do it. You just got to change the A logo. And I was like, so what if I do an uppercase A? They're like, that's great. And I'm like, yes.
Font matters, guys. Font matters.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, so whatever, man. It's just like it's all fun. I mean, I'm very fortunate to be making my own cartoon. You know, there's like thousands of people in this in the cartoon industry, and you know, a lot of them want to make their own show, and fortunate enough, like I'm able to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you I mean, we already talked about it. We just hope, people have fun with it. JJ, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I really appreciate it. It was a really fun show. So the fact that after watching it and enjoying it, I get to chat with you, about a little bit of the background and what's to come.
Oh
I
yeah,
feel,
man.
very privileged and lucky. So thank you.
Sure. It comes out on Valentine's on HBO Max. So sit with your sweetheart or whoever it is, your partner, and enjoy your Valentine's Day together, watching King Star King.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much. And hopefully we'll chat with you again on when we're gonna be talking about the next season of it.